you very much, Lucretia, for that great speech. And now we are going to have we have this local celebrity here. This man, him and his wife, I'll tell you a little story. They bought a radio station, and she's the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen. She passed away not too long ago. And you know, when you see him sometimes, he has a tear in his eye, and he's like the only guy I know that can cry and cool. And I mean that. He's got one of the best radio stations out there. He's on there every day. It's called Lamb Radio. He's going to come up and talk to you. His name is Thayrone X, and I need a warm round of applause for this man.
Hello, everybody. Now, I'm old, so for the first time in a long time, I actually made some notes. I spoke all over the place and done a bunch of this stuff, and one of the things that was always kind of a private joke between me and my lovely wife, Linda, whenever we were on our way someplace, she'd say, "Let me see your notes." I hold up something like this, and it might have like acorn written on it. She'd just crack up. She knew that I never took notes on anything. And one of the most memorable occasions was, I was speaking at some big shot deal out in San Diego. Everybody was there with some big Hollywood Lalo Schiffer and music guy sitting here, and there's somebody over there, and I don't know how you got the hell hooked up with these people. But I walked up in front of them, and I had about 5 pages of notes and lines. And I looked out the room and I said, you know, I've never used notes for a speech before, and I ripped them up and threw them, and I had an audience in the palm of my hand right there. But tonight I got notes, because I'm old. The 19th Amendment, you can't talk about the 19th Amendment without hooking it up with women, right? That's what it's all about. So I want to say, first of all, to you ladies, and I couldn't be more sincere, I think some men would agree with me. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for civilizing my ass. You think I'm kidding? If it wasn't for you ladies, we would have never made the dining room table. It's God's truth. We would all be eating dinner at the kitchen sink in our underwear. And we would only change our underwear, maybe wash them every 2 weeks. You're shaking this head, yes? No, sir, no, sir. No, sir. So thank you, ladies, thank you. Now, I was going to open up with something, and Dawn said, don't do that. I was going to open up with, what the hell were we thinking when we gave you chicks to write the poem? But Dawn said, they don't all know you like that. So, but listen, this is important because I didn't think about the next thing that came to me last night. I was talking to a friend of mine at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Whenever I wrote this down, I thought what I was going to say, which I wasn't going to say until I wrote this down. And this is the God's truth. What were we thinking when we thought we gave women the God-given right to vote? God gave you that right. Is that true? That's what our original Constitution was about. Our original Constitution was 10 amendments, and it was all about keeping the government out of your way because you have God-given rights. You close your eyes in the middle of the night, you're looking up at the stars, or, you know, and you're, by the way, when I close my eyes, I see sparks and pinwheels, but all the rest of you see dark. In fact, this reminds me of a 1960s drug experience right here. That was freaking me out. I looked over and I thought, uh-oh. Not that I know about that. But anyway, you know you have rights that are given to you by something other than man. You know somebody's coming at you, you got a right to defend yourself. You got a right to speak your mind. So the forefathers crafted the first 10. After that, it's all man-made. Now, yeah, it's good that we put some amendments in there, got rid of slavery, all that. I want to tell you what I would have done, and this is the 11th Amendment. I thought of this a couple days ago. It's no sovereign American citizen shall be denied equal protection under the law. Boom. That's men, women, blacks, whites, Chinese, aliens, whatever, that are citizens. Second part. No sovereign American citizen shall be denied the right to vote in any election. That's it. That's it. Now, you could maybe with a lawyer, nuance some of that around so it gets a little twisted around, but that's the basic essence of what it's about. That says any sovereign American citizen cannot be denied the right to freedom, to make a choice, to speak your mind, say what you want. So the 19th Amendment is great, but I think my amendment covers it even better. I'm not just saying that because I made that up. I'm saying it because it's all encompassing. It's all encompassing. And the other thing about the Constitution we're talking about here, this is interesting. How many of y'all, raise your hand, don't lie, can name the 5 freedoms that are in the First Amendment? How many can stand up and name them right now? How many? Raise your hand high so I can see you. If you can name all 5 of the freedoms in the First Amendment. That's sad. The reason I bring this up, I was listening to a lawyer on, I think it was Mark Levin's show, this was years ago, and he said he was addressing a bunch of lawyers, and not one of the lawyers in this huge group in LA could name that. And that's because in law school they don't teach the Constitution, they teach case precedent. You're learning case precedent. Well, for those of you that don't know this, it's speech, religion, press, assembly, and they protest your grievances. Okay, that's it. There's your First Amendment. And the Second Amendment gave you to shoot somebody right in the face if they try and take that away from you. You didn't quite say it like that. I would put that in. I'll put that in. Not only do you have the right to bear arms, you'll be issued one at birth, and it will be a Glock. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about tonight mainly, and this is huge. Here's something else people don't really consider. The default position of mankind, and Lucretia touched on this, the default position of mankind is slavery, and has been since day one. Slavery in America is nothing new. I mean, what must it have been like to be building a pyramid, okay? I mean, even before that. The default position in humanity is slavery. And it's always been, man, I hope we have a good king next year. This king we hate, he's a bastard, but he's going to die. His kid's a good king. That is not being a citizen. That is not being a sovereign citizen. That's being ruled over by a sovereign state. So being a sovereign citizen and having a sovereign state are 2 different things that are very important. And what we're losing right now, and have been losing since the mid-'60s, and I went through the 60s, that's why this mirror looks so damn strange to me. From the 60s forward, we've been ceding our American rights on steroids. It's a long story. It started with Woodrow Wilson. That's the bastard that decoupled us from the Constitution. And then Colonel House started the Council on Foreign Relations. This is a huge graduate school. I'm not going to get into that yet. But the bottom line is those guys started the trip toward losing our American sovereignty and ceding our sovereign citizenry to government. And then when, I'm going to cut forward to Lyndon Baines Johnson, that's the guy that pretty much sealed the deal with the War on Poverty, Voting Rights Act, Civil Rights Act. And it's all good stuff, but not the way they did it. Not the way they did it. In fact, Christopher Caldwell talked to this at Hillsdale College. I think it was, I don't know, about 5 months back, whatever. And if you haven't seen the latest in Primus, you got to see it because he nails it. He talks about the same thing. We no longer function as a nation with one constitution. We have 2 constitutions. We have the American Constitution, the essence of it, and then we have the welfare state constitution, where it's no longer that we had to make sure that black people could have equal rights. Those bastard Democrats took them all away from me, and that's what happened. But it's now, anybody that's got a bitch can get in there and say, I feel like dressing like a girl today. I got rights. Boom, that Constitution covers you. Now, I want to get hired at this office, but the employer doesn't want to hire me. The employer has nothing to say about it anymore. You don't have freedom to do a damn thing anymore. By the way, if you think you're a free citizen now rather than serve, try not paying your property taxes. It'll ruin your life, man. So, in the 60s, as Caldwell talked about, I don't want to go deeper into that, but get the Primus, he spells it out chapter and verse. We started a second constitution, and it was based on being a sovereign government bestowing rights on you, saying you can do this now. Oh, this is bad happened to you. The government will come in and fix it. And again, it didn't have to be done that way. He spells it out a little bit better, but I don't know how we get out of that, because right now, Everybody that's got a right to do something is doing it in a man-made sense, a man-made right sense. Whereas the first 10 amendments were, get the hell away from me, government. You can't put your hands on me because the forefathers wrote down that God gave me these rights and you can't take them away from me. You can't impinge on those. You can make that distinction, right? That's an important distinction to make. Because that has been usurped by the new American Constitution, which is essentially the welfare state, overarching bureaucratic socialist government telling you what to do. We right now are straight up a socialist country. We're uniquely American socialist country, but we are a socialist country. And that started with Woodrow Wilson, and there's a whole body of how it happened going up. But man, Lyndon Baines Johnson, through the ceiling. That was it. And then you come to Hussein Obama. Remember when he started talking about the Constitution is negative rights, so we got to fix that. Remember that? He said that. He was sort of right, but he was right for the wrong reason. He wanted to make sure that the government started giving you stuff. There's your second Constitution. But we got to stand against that. Now, you hit on something too, Lucretia. I always tell people when I say you got to get out of public school because that is really the answer to all of this. And the answer to it is not going to happen overnight. They've been screwing us over for 100 years with Woodrow Wilson. And they've been taking our American freedoms away from us. They've been teaching kids to actually embrace and love that. Now, who would ever think that there would be somebody like Bernie Sanders running for president if we had a true education system? Couldn't happen. Couldn't happen. So, the only solution, elected officials are going to hate this. Sorry, it ain't you. Yeah, get in and do some good stuff. But what it is getting kids out of public schools. Because public schools are government schools. They're dumbed down government indoctrination centers. That's right. I made up some buttons I was giving out at Battle Cry last week. I had a bunch of buttons made up. And it said, my child is an honor student at a dumbed down government indoctrination center. You think it's funny, but you wake up screaming when you realize that's true. So you got to get your kids out of school, and you got to get them educated in a real school, out of government school, get them educated in a real school. This is just private school so much. It's like incumbent upon the parent to do that even before they get into school, and that's all been stripped out of the system, courtesy of the welfare system and destroying the family and all that. So to get them out of school, you are thereby responsible for educating. And even if they're stuck in school because it's a great daycare program and you can't get home in time to do it or don't have the time, tough. I tell people George Washington's men walked around on bloody stumps using newspapers for shoes in the snow while their farmhouses were being burned and their wives were being raped. And because of that, you can go to a shitty school right now. Get out. Get out of government school. Now, I realize you're all old. I'm looking at you. So, you got to tell your kids to get their kids out of public school. And I know they won't talk to you because they think you're a crazy right-wing nutcase. So, somehow you got to make this happen. You got to get out of public schools. And when I was telling people a year back, I said, look, take your grandchildren out. Get them a copy of the 5,000-Year Lease by Clean Stosen. You guys know about that, right? Yeah. And I said, put a $20 bill inside and tell the kid, don't show this to your parents. And tell them to hide it between bed springs like we used to do with Playboy magazine, right? But do it now with the 5,000-Year Leap and tell that kid to read that book cover to cover. It's things like that that really count. Is if kids start waking up to the fact that freedom is important as opposed to comfort. Comfort and freedom are two separate things. Two separate things. And that's where people are being confused now. Is they think, oh man, I'm going to get health care, I'm going to get educated. Everything. I'm going to get housing. And that's the next big push, by the way. You guys know about that right now? You mentioned 2030. The push is to take private housing away. Away. Like the house I live in, they make a case, oh, you can put 4 families in there. I'd say, yeah, but human contact's greatly overrated. They come near me, I'll shoot you. Human contact isn't greatly overrated, by the way. I know a lot of Christians beat me up for that. I ain't catching coronavirus. So anyway, they're making a push now to completely socialize this country to the point of no return. And one of the reasons that it's important to keep Donald Trump in office, and I'm going to be working for his re-election in 2024 and 2028 too. Oh, hey, tangential leaf. People say to me, oh, 2024, we got to get Donald Trump Jr. in. Oh, we got to get, who's the other one? We got Ted Cruz. Get the hell out of here. We got to get Ron DeSantis in. We got to get Ron DeSantis in, governor of Florida right now. He's it. He's the closest we're going to get to it. There is no more Donald Trump out there. But Ron DeSantis was a member of the Freedom Caucus. He was one of the I call him Tea Party of the Congress guys. He's doing fabulous things right now. So I'm saying 2024 should be Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. And Nikki Haley comes with, maybe. She's good, but she needs a sharp stick in her back, man, to go way more. Because she should have been standing up in the United Nations and said, we're getting the hell out of here. See you later. I'm taking a checkbook with me. But that ticket, I think, is the only thing available to us right now that could carry forward this Trump work that we've put in place. Now, I think I hit most of my points. Yeah, I think I got pretty much all of it. That's it. Thank you. Good night. The main thing I wanted to put across tonight, again, I know when I'm doing things like this, and Lucretia's talking a lot of times, we're doing this kind of thing, Dawn's, we're preaching to the choir. We're the people that already pretty much know all of this stuff. But you know what? We don't know enough. I just asked this girl to marry me because she said that she was aware of the New American Magazine. How many people know about the New American Magazine? Again, not enough. The New American Magazine, you can put it in your mailbox twice a month. You can go online and get New American Magazine online, but it's not the same. You check out both. You need to subscribe to this. You need to subscribe to the New American Magazine. If you're not reading the investigative journalism in that magazine, you don't know what's going on. You really don't. The guys that are in, Alex Newman, unbelievable. Christian Gomez, people who put this stuff together, they are, I'd say they're the real heroes in American society, or unsung heroes. They're about below the radar. But they're exposing things like you can't believe. They're exposing the school system. They're exposing your kid. How many people got kids in school now or grandkids in school? Raise your hand. You know they're in public school? You know they're having everything they get funneled through the prism, through the lens of climate change. That's bullshit. Climate change is bullshit. It's weather. It's weather. And it is just an opinion that's scientifically borne out. Anybody that thinks that climate change is anything other than our Earth is spinning on an axis, is it not? If it wobbles around, as you say in the 60s, wiggle around a little bit. If it wiggles to the right, it's hot. Wiggles to the left, it's cold. And at the same time, to make matters even worse, it's going around the sun. So you tell me that SUV out there warming up the climate, man. So anyway, the New American exposes the fact, I mean, I've done this before, many of you did too, but our school system is nothing but that from kindergarten through PhD. Everything's funneled through that. And here's something else people don't know about this you need to know. Ocasio-Cortez, people laugh at her, make fun of her, she's stupid, she's this, she's a bartender. She introduced into Congress the New Green Deal. If you look at the Green New Deal, whatever the hell it is, if you look at that and just get away with all the chaff and look at just the wheat, there's like a paragraph and a half in there that literally ties our country into a socialist agenda where anybody that starts a business, any deal that's made, has to go through a board of people that look at it through climate impacting criteria. That's insane. That means that if they ever get that through Congress, there will never ever again be a free anything. Free market anything. That's turning America into a straight up 100% socialist global pawn. Now, I'm done except for one more thing. I want to give you an example of how really, really bad this is. Now, we all know California's batshit crazy, right? Right? It is. All right. I saw this the other day. I saw it just going through the computer screen. I was on air and I just grabbed this. Right now they've got a bill. It's called AB 2826. Recently introduced by Democrat Assemblyman Evan Lowe. He's from Silicon Valley, so that means he's got a bunch of money. Doesn't care what happens to the rest of anybody else. States that if retail department stores have more than 500 employees, and keep in mind this is the government forming a law, right? If they have more than 500 employees. And fail to maintain individual areas on the sales floor. He's trying to separate, he's trying to meld together boys' clothes and girls' clothes. right? He thinks it's sexist that there's a boys section and a girls section. He's making law so that it all has to be melded together. If you got more than 500 employees and don't have all your stock together, $1,000 fine.
What?
This is a nightmare. This is reality, man. This is reality. This is just happening right now in California. Yeah.
Jim, repeat what you just said. They couldn't hear you.
I'm old. But let me tell you, I gotta tell you a story about me being old. This year, I'm still cooler than him. I'm still cooler than that guy you're with. But 73. I'm having my hearing checked. This is about, I don't know, a couple years back. And the hearing doctor says to me, he says, you're in pretty good shape for an older guy. I said, yeah. Can you give me a 17-year-old dick?
Oh!
Wait, that's not the punchline. He looks at me with not even blinking an eye, and he says, I'll get you the one that's living next door to me and drive my daughter crazy. Now that's funny. That's funny. I said, doctor, you just might be cool. All right, in California, who didn't hear it? In California, they didn't like that boys' clothes are in the boys' section. Girls' clothes are in the girls' section. And councilman is trying, or assemblyman is trying to get, everything has to be melded together. There is no boys section, no girls section. This is the whole homosexual mafia trying to take over the public school system. That's exactly what it is. Don't think of it any other way. They're sexualizing children, and now they're trying to meld them together so that they're gender free, and that's what this is about. And in California, if this passes, and it's going to pass. They're all Democrats. Gavin Newsom is the psychotic governor out there. So when this happens, all stores, if people come in and say, oh, wait a minute, you got the skirts over here and the boys' pants over there, they all got to be together. And if you're fined $1,000 fine. Think about that. You're paying taxes on that store. You bought that building or rent that building. You set up everything in there. And they're telling you, micromanaging how you're going to sell your stuff. This is insane. I mean, it's infuriatingly insane. This is what's happening right now in our country. And if you think this is like one crazy little thing, who cares, it's California, this is the state of the art in the progressive mind right now in America. This is Bernie Sanders meets Ocasio-Cortez meets Joe Biden.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Don't forget to listen to Wham Radio, because this is what I do every day for 3 hours. Thank you, Don.